Another volcano alert, bubbling lava hotspot found on UK's doorstep. And it's revealed, and it's been having a tremendous amount of quake swarms lately. Iceland, as we know, mantle plume right underneath, have the Iceland volcanoes, and this is for today's quakes. From 0 to 4 hours, there's two actually here below here, and here, and orange is this one here from 4 to 12 hours. Unfortunately, it doesn't show the quakes. This map is not very, all right. And this one here, the yellow ones, 12 to 24 hours. That the yellow is the past day, that is. And then past day and a half, all these here, and around the other side, the north of the island. And the darker blue is, I think, this one here. Here they are plotted. These are the past hour. They seem to be picking up, as you can see. Now, Europe as a whole is a host to numerous cauldrons, many of which lie not too far from the British shores. Iceland is a country that sits about 1,000 miles northwest of the United Kingdom, and of course it's home to a number of volcanoes, and of course it's they have, everybody there has heating and energy from the geothermal energy that they get from these volcanoes. And they have quakes as well. It's a home to many volcanoes, varying in sizes and activity, and caution to possible eruptions on the island is paramount. Last month, the bubbling caldera of Askja in the highlands of Iceland was struck by a remarkable 550 earthquakes, and it sparked speculation over whether the magma cauldron would erupt and begin spewing molten rock in all directions. The last time we know that the big Jokul volcano erupted was in 2010, covering the whole of Europe up to the border of Greece with ash cloud. Now, upon the sudden eruption fears last month, monitoring the site of the site Volcano Discovery said that more than 550 small quakes were recorded during the past 5 days, but up to now most quakes have been tiny, as we saw on the map. The large events were two shocks, magnitude 3.2 and 3.4, which was of course felt by the residents. The swarm is likely caused by the intrusion of magma into the underground fissures, which could but not necessarily lead to an eruption. Could, but doesn't mean it will. Seismic tremors, like the ones that struck last month, are symptoms of potential eruption, but Askja volcano is not the only volcano threat in Iceland. Including the inactive volcanoes, there are 130 volcanoes in Iceland alone, 130, with 30 of these volcanoes active and spreading all over the island, with 30 of these, and one of the more notorious, the Eyjafjallajökull, the volcano lying under the ice cap and producing colossal eruptions. That's the one that took place in 2010, affected basically everybody in Europe. I remember at that time, I think Angela Merkel was somewhere in the south. Was she in Spain or Portugal or something? She couldn't get back to Germany because there were no planes flying towards that part of Europe because of the ash cloud from this Eyjafjallajökull volcano. Now, seismic activity was unusual, causing magma seeping into the magma chamber from under the crust, and a huge 3,000 earthquakes were recorded at the epicenter of the volcano. The powerful eruption meant 800 people were evacuated from the area, and a brief pause in the eruption blew for a second time, throwing volcanic ash into the atmosphere, causing chaos across Europe, flights being cancelled, leaving tourists, and of course Angela Merkel, I remember very well, stranded in wherever place they were. The biggest eruption in Iceland's history was in 1784, when the Laki volcano fissure, which lies south of Iceland, erupted. The huge eruption started June of 1983, and it continued until February of 1783, sorry, and it continued until February 1784. The force was so powerful it nearly tore the island in half. After this horrific explosion, half of the country's livestock was wiped out, and a third of the population died in the subsequent famine. Okay? Now, threat of life because of volcanic eruptions is minimal in the present day. Iceland is equipped with sophisticated seismic stations where the volcanoes of the country are watched and monitored continuously. Now, even though because of their vigorous danger, the obvious danger, volcanoes in the country, in Iceland, are crucial to Iceland, because with 30% of the country's power coming from geothermal stations, and volcano tourism is also lucrative in that island. Volcano tourism. Volcanoes remain a more prescient threat in other parts of the world. They proved to be devastating eruptions of the White Island volcano in New Zealand this week, a couple of days ago. Police are still investigating the eruption, as 6 are confirmed to have been lost. And New Zealand's police deputy commissioner said today, "I would strongly suggest that there is no one that has survived on the island." Now, we know that the White Island volcano of the North Island, New Zealand, very low-lying volcanic island, private island, people going there for volcano tourism. Because it was low-lying, the sea, it was very eruptive, very explosive, unforeseen, even though they had quake swarms building up during the past few weeks, and I saw from Volcano Discovery the past few months actually, they didn't expect it to erupt. The geologists did not expect it to erupt. But what happened was that they had water. The water was finding itself into the crater. And because of the superheated steam, the steam had underneath, the steam had to surface. And it surfaced with an explosion. And that's what caused the explosive eruption of the White Island volcano, from what the geologist said. So 130 volcanoes in Iceland, 30 very active, and it's very close, as we said, to England. It's basically the first country close to it, and the other side, of course, is Greenland, with only 60 or 70,000 population on Greenland. Okay, but UK, the last time it erupted, 2010, the Volcano, I can't remember the name of it. That volcano brought the ash towards the east, towards UK and Scandinavia and Europe. So we'll have to watch out to see what's happening with this one as well. This is on Express UK by Charles Bradley. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.